Prime Field.
On a November night against Utah, the nation's top-ranked team unveiled a startling statistic. A freshman forward produced 21 points in 18 minutes, scoring with a level of efficiency normally reserved for All-American veterans. Her name was Blanca Kenyanz, and her emergence shifted UConn's offensive geometry in real time. Her performance recalibrated Utah's defensive priorities. It altered spacing, it destabilized matchups, and most importantly, it challenged the core questions surrounding UConn's 20, 25, and 26 roster. What happens when a program already powered by AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong suddenly discovers a third scorer with elite efficiency and multi-level versatility? This documentary investigates that question. Through data, film analysis, and statistical correlation, it examines how Blanca Kenyanz evolved from a depth piece into the balancing force that prevents defenses from overloading UConn's stars, and how her rise reshapes the team's championship calculus. The turning point begins with her shot chart. The Utah game revealed a striking contrast in UConn's offensive layout. AZ Fudd operated from the perimeter, recording 9 for 11 shooting and 4 flawless three-point attempts. Quinonez matched that efficiency through an entirely different offensive pathway. She hit 3 of 5 from 3. She converted 5 of 6 inside the arc. The distribution produced the statistical dilemma Utah never solved, a forward who could threaten the rim and stretch the floor in equal measure. Her 72.7% shooting efficiency on 11 attempts aligned with offensive profiles seen in elite wings, not freshmen adjusting to NCAA defenses. Utah's coverage reflected this conflict. Overhelp on Fudd risked instant backdoor punishment. Sagging into the paint opened a 60% three-point threat. Either choice destabilized Utah's system, enabling Fudd's uncontested threes and preventing the face guard everything approach normally used against elite scorers. This dual threat map set the stage for UConn's next advantage: defensive disruption that ignited transition offense. While box scores list turnovers and steals, film study clarifies why certain defensive stretches produce disproportionate impact. Quinonez became central to UConn's early 14-0 surge against Utah, not through volume from steals, but through deflections. Utah entered the game as a top 25 three-point team, yet the UTs did not score until the 7:36 mark of the first quarter. The disruption originated in passing lanes, where Quinonez's 6'2" wingspan forced the UTs into slower, less confident reads. Delayed entries collapsed Utah's timing. Hesitation created spacing breakdowns. Every deflection tightened UConn's grip on pace. As the Huskies totaled 39 points off turnovers and 21 in transition, Quinonez became the connective link between defensive pressure and offensive acceleration. The existence effect of her length changed Utah's behavior, forcing them into contested drives, low percentage shots, and rush decisions that compounded throughout the game. This defensive impact enhanced the value of her scoring, but her efficiency per minute revealed an even deeper shift in UConn's structure. Entering the season, the central structural question loomed: who becomes the reliable third scorer behind Fudd and Strong? Against Utah, Quinonez provided the clearest answer to date. She averaged 1.17 points per minute during her 21-point outbursts, generating a true shooting percentage approaching 78%, a rate that outpaced nearly every freshman in the Big East over the same period. The broader context intensified the significance. Across the previous 2 games, she shot 56% from the field. She converted 60% from 3. She remained perfect from the free throw line. By Game 6, she averaged 11.5 points in 15.5 minutes, leading all rotation players in field goal percentage. Compared against emerging conference newcomers, such as DePaul's ally Tim Quinonez's per-minute output ranked among the most efficient early-season freshman campaigns. Her scoring density didn't rely on isolation or high-usage sets. It emerged through motion, timing, and a specific skill that UConn's system exploits to perfection: the cutter's roll. UConn's offense depends on spacing that rewards instantaneous reads. Quinonez adapted quickly to these requirements. Against Utah, she repeatedly punished double teams with precise backdoor cuts, executing actions emblematic of European systems where young players sharpen timing through repetition. Her reads created a structural anomaly for defenses. Traditional backup power forwards offer screening and rebounding. Quinonez brought shooting gravity, cutting pressure, and face-up playmaking. In jumbo lineups featuring Strong, Sarah Williams, and Quinonez, this flexibility became sharper. She functioned as a secondary creator, initiating pick-and-roll sequences rather than simply screening for them. This capacity forced opponents into mixed coverages, switch, hedge, or sag, none of which held consistently across multiple possessions. These dual layers of motion fueled UConn's fast break identity. Transition defined nearly a quarter of UConn's scoring output in the Utah matchup. 21 points, sparked by turnovers and quick outlets, reshaped the game's rhythm. Quinonez played a focal role. Her function as the primary outlet runner relied on anticipation and positioning. Off UConn's stops, she advanced early, forcing Utah's guards and forwards into extended recovery sprints. Her size gave her finishing power uncommon in typical outlet runners. Multiple sequences ended with her scoring in space, while Utah's defense scrambled into the late rotation. Each finish carried cumulative weight, fatigue, spacing distortion, and the psychological drag of defending a relentless transition cycle. This transition presence echoed a familiar UConn archetype, connecting her play to the legacy of Aaliyah Edwards. Aaliyah Edwards shaped UConn's recent identity through energy, physicality, and persistent two-way presence. Quinonez does not replicate Edwards' style, but she mirrors the underlying engine, possession-altering activity on every sequence. Edwards averaged 17.6 points, 9.2 rebounds, and elite efficiency as a senior. Quinonez's early UConn tenure demonstrated a similar impact through different methods: relentless cutting, outlet pacing, and defensive length. Her 5 offensive rebounds against Ohio State exemplified this motor. Her activity forced defensive recalculations. Where Edwards dragged defenders into the paint, Quinonez stretches them across the floor, yet both generate the same outcome: constant defensive strain. This interior to perimeter evolution marks the final stage of her current trajectory. Blanca Kenyanz has not replaced the stars of UConn basketball. Instead, she has filled the structural gap that often limits elite programs. A third scorer whose versatility protects the system from defensive overcommitment. Her shot chart balances Fudd's perimeter gravity. Her cutting and spacing harmonize with Strong's all-around scoring. Her transition presence amplifies UConn's defensive pressure. Her efficiency per minute elevates lineup combinations previously untested. Taken together, these traits position Quinonez as a defining variable in the 2025-26 Huskies' pursuit of postseason dominance. She's not merely depth. She's not a situational spark. Based on the evidence, she becomes something more essential, the stabilizer that keeps UConn's offensive ecosystem intact regardless of opponent strategy, the X factor capable of shifting the ceiling of a championship contender.
Prime Field!